Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1, series 1
of... Can we do a drum roll?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Nobody knows the name yet. Well, I guess they do because they've obviously clicked on it and they know what the name is, but this is our first mention of the name, isn't it?
Is it?
We've shown a lot of creativity in naming our new show, Ferguson, Harrington, Hawks, but that's a bit of a mouthful, so we've decided to go with Fur.
Yeah.
Fur.
Do you know, I'm sort of wishing I
we
had...
did go around the houses.
Yeah. Oh, remember, we were nearly... we talk about things and one of us sings. That was when we were in our rhyming period. Remember, we were in our rhyming period where we were rhyming.
I still kind of like that one. Maybe that's our tagline. So it's fur. We talk about things and one of us sings.
Fur.
Fur.
So, new series, new show, entitled Fur.
I think Ferguson, Harrington, Hawks, to be honest. I think that if you're, like, hanging about, like, if you're, like, writing about it, you can say fur. But, like, I think Ferguson, Harrington, Hawks, because I've never wanted to be an actual estate agent, but I quite like the idea of sounding like one.
Or a lawyer.
Or a lawyer,
maybe.
right?
A law firm.
Ferguson, Harrington,
Advertising agency.
Yeah.
Architect.
It has very good plosives, doesn't it, Lynn?
Yes, it does have very good plosives. It starts with a plosive and it ends with a plosive.
Yeah.
Hey, do you not feel like right now that this is like a time where people take everything personally?
Yeah.
Like, I think because what's going on in the world has been so big, right, that everybody's at that point. Do you know,
Well, it's happening in the media as well, isn't it? Like, everyone's taking everything personally. It's not
but
just
also if
us
you
and our friends.
talk to somebody in the street or something, like yesterday I had to go and every 4 months I have to go and do these blood test things to check I don't have cancer. I don't have cancer, calm down everybody. But, yay! Well, you know, I might be tempting fate. Maybe this time I might have cancer, which will be a terrible thing on one hand, but make a really interesting episode 2. Aside from that, right...
I'd rather not do that episode.
Yeah,
Lynn,
me too.
If that's all right.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. But I have to go every 4 months and they take blood and they check to see if there's any cancer in it, and then I meet with the doctor and he'll tell me when there's any cancer in it and we do the thing and then blah blah blah, right? And I do it. I'll be doing it for another few years, right? But yesterday I tried to go and get the blood thing taken, and for some reason nothing works. Right? So I went to 2 different places to get... Normally, in the past, I'd have gone in and gone, hello, can you take my blood? Here's the order. Can you give it to my doctor? And it would be fine. This time, one of the places had an armed security guard.
They knew you were coming in.
Armed security guard. Who's going to break into a blood place so they can, like, give blood with a gun? They're like, that's it. I'm breaking in. I'm giving you my blood. Take that. And then the second place, like, you couldn't get in. Nobody could do appointments. And everybody was getting angry at everybody over nothing. It was really weird.
Was it COVID related? Was it like people not wearing masks and getting angry at that stuff, or what?
No, I think it's I think that there's a lot of stuff where people feel, well, definitely in that situation, the organisation have changed the way that they staff the place, right? So the man, as it were, is like cut down on their staff, and so that now you'll get 1 or 2 people dealing with a job that should be 20 people. It's interesting, I think, because there's a sort of thing right now, certainly I think a theme in the world where there's one set of people and there's the other set of people, and there's like a very... You know, people who do penis crafts to the moon, that sort of thing. People who are like building like...
What is that?
People building penis rockets so they can go into space and shit like that. When you're like, do you know, I'd have much more respect for you if you maybe fed the hungry and just showed everybody your tiny penis, you know.
I've got to say, though, if I had a knob that big, I'd have a rocket as well.
Right?
So,
yeah.
You know.
But, well, it's that weird thing about respect, isn't it? That people want respect and thinking that building yourself a big penis rocket is the way to get it. But anyway, point was that everybody was angry yesterday and getting all annoyed and all that. And even I got angry, which never happens. As
you did that.
know.
That's not like you.
Right?
I want to pick up on that later because I have input on that.
What have you been angry?
Why later? Why not now?
Why not now?
It's too early in the show.
Ches
It's
and
too
I will
early in
get...
the show. We
Well,
haven't
look, Ches is getting angry at you.
I'll get angry with you if you don't.
Well, I wanted to get into it later because I just didn't want to get into talking about me so early in this new series, episode 1. But it's linked to what we did before with our mental podcast, and it's linked with Heston.
Oh, you're not angry at Heston, are you angry at Heston?
No, Heston Blumenthal. No, if you cast your mind back, when we were with Heston, the realisation of my face dropping with the ADHD identification, and him saying about how such a common thing with someone with ADHD is the relationship with time.
And a friend of my son's dad was a psychiatrist, and we had dinner all together, and he said, I think you might have ADHD. And I said, well, how can I have ADHD? I've devoted maybe 100,000 hours to focusing on food and cooking. He said, that's classic ADHD. If you find something you love, you just hyper focus. So I went and had the test. And I think on the test, it's 20 is the borderline, and I was 62, I think, or something.
Oh, wow.
And then I had my serotonin levels measured, ECGs and EEGs, and then I had a time taking Adderall. And in fact, being diagnosed, I don't think there's a connection between ADHD and creativity. I think ADHD is also people with ADHD have a frustration with their relationship with time. It is a very big thing with ADHD.
Yes, that's me.
And maybe that's why my restaurant system was so precise, because I really don't like being late, but before I'd leave the house 5 times. I'd run upstairs to get something, come down with an armful of stuff, a watch that I thought I'd lost 6 months ago, and forgot what I went up for in the first place. And I still run out of the house with one shoe in my hand.
The way I describe it to people is that time, for me, 1 minute to someone else is like 10, 15 minutes to me. So it's so interesting you saying
yes.
the relationship with time.
I think it's a really big thing, a relationship with time.
So I've had a lot of time to reflect on my own personal issues, and it's just about personal development, really. I mean, it's only happened recently, but because of my relationship with time, I have quite a bad temper. Because in my head, everything that is, to you is just a minute or two. To me, it could be half an hour in my head because of the relationship with time. And it's starting to affect my relationship with Karen, and it's been difficult because that's my personality, and it is all related to the frustration in my head with how long everything is taking. Sort of having that chat with Heston and learning about myself and developing from that first series, I've identified it. And I've started practicing it. I feel like we got sort of Neil 3.0 now, I'm not that far into it, but it's absolutely changed my life. Totally. Such self-development. I don't want to sound and hippified, but about self-development. But I've really learnt so much about myself and managed to change. And already just so far into it, it's a revelation as to how calm life can be. And, I don't get it right all the time. And, earlier I flew off the handle to Karen and, but it really is. It's a revelation. So I just want to get in there. You mentioned about angry, and that's my relationship with time and learning about the ADHD from chatting with Heston, and development and a new series. And there we go. That's my bit.
I think that's kind of...
How beautiful.
It is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I think as well, it brings up a topic, which is that, do you think you would have known that without the podcast? Because I feel like we've met people on this podcast that I think changed the way that I thought forever, in a way that I wouldn't if I hadn't met them.
Absolutely.
And that is the structure that drew me into neuroscience when I was a baby neuroscientist. And it's still my favorite structure.
I like the idea of a baby neuroscientist.
Yeah.
little white coats.
Yeah.
Though, the thing is, Wendy Suzuki's so smart. I could imagine her being like a toddler and then going, right, so
Talk
let
to
me...
you about your hippocampus.
So hippocampus actually means seahorse.
Oh, wow.
And it's where all of our memories are stored. So
They're not stored there. The hippocampus helps memories stick, but they stick in other places of the brain. So the things that make memories stick better are repetition, association. So, I know Lynn, and then I remember Lynn's friends better because they're friends with Lynn, stuff like that. That's what I mean by association. And emotional resonance.
You know what I must bring up, though, because it so makes me think about you, Chesney, which is in the best possible way, in the best possible...
Not spandex again, is it?
But like...
Boing.
Like, I don't think people realise how strong you are, actually. And a great illustration for me was was a podcast that we never even could put out because it was such a disaster. But in the recording of it, God damn it, if we could even just get like a little bit of video footage, I think it would be quite funny. And we were doing a podcast with the lovely Debbie McGee, who is... wonderful woman, right?
We love her.
And she had a little bit of problems with her, the kind of Wi-Fi thing, so it was difficult to hear at times. But the major thing in it, we'd chosen the topic of loss, and we'd chosen this topic ages before. Like, we'd gone, wouldn't it be great if we got lovely Debbie McGee, because she's funny and she's strong and everything, she can talk about loss. And then literally the week before we did the podcast, like maybe my bestie, a friend of mine I'm so close to just died, right? So I was a complete mess. I should probably never have done the podcast or called off, but I did that whole, I can do it. So as soon as we started with loss, I started kind of blubbering a bit. And then Neil, because he's Neil, joined in. So he was blubbering.
Crying as well.
And so literally...
Poor Debbie.
Debbie McGee was telling these brilliant stories, and me and Neil were both sobbing loudly and snivelly, like that whole, right? And Chesney was being very stoic and
Just trying to hold it together. I was just thinking, I've brought my lovely friend Debbie in here.
And she was wonderful. But
I was like, don't you start too, Neil.
Totally bemused. Totally bemused.
We couldn't get our words out.
No, you couldn't. You were both wiping snot. But wasn't Debbie amazing with it? She just took it in her stride, and she was counselling both of you, if you remember. She was brilliant.
The whole thing turned round, didn't it? Where she kind of you and her led the podcast, while me and Neil were like just like wittering, like we were wrecks.
But because of the technical issues we had, we could only fucking hear half of it anyway.
I know. She was amazing.
I know.
I couldn't resist that, sorry. But also because I wanted to make you laugh, because throughout my time of grief, I haven't stopped laughing. And I also think it's important that when you're going through sadness, that you don't forget that you're still alive, and that you, need to live for that person, but also, we're only here once, and you mustn't forget the laughter.
Oh, that was the funniest thing, though. And it's one of those things, I don't know if you guys do this, but, like, after it, I was mortified. Also because I was in huge grief and sorrow and everything.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where I was like, I am never going to be okay about this. I'm never going to not be embarrassed about it. I'm never going to laugh about this. And then today I'm like, oh my God.
And then here we are laughing at it.
I didn't get that far with being mortified, because it was after my dad had gone, wasn't it? I remember now. I was talking because it was my mum on her own. That was what set me off.
That's what it was. Yeah,
because we lost my dad. But she was so good.
Oh, she was brilliant.
And the one picture I do have is just her face on the screen. She was just she was so wonderful with us.
But also, she didn't. I mean, she knows you, Ches, right? She's friends with you, but she never met me and Neil before. So it was like literally,
exactly.
Chesney, thanks for inviting me to your misery party. You've got two crazy.
Actually, I remember at the end, guys. She was like, maybe we could do another one where we could talk about showbiz stories or something.
What a woman, though. It like shows about what an amazing person she is. That like literally she turned up and handled it, even though it was craziness, crazy.
Yeah. Ches, what sticks in your mind from anything that we've done before we
so
here
many
we are with our new show, Ferguson Harrington Hawks rebranding.
No, so many. I feel the same way as you, Neil, and you, Lynn, have very nicely said that it kind of, some of the things that some of our guests have said have changed the way I think about things. And I mean, that's the kind of caliber of the guests that we had. They were all so beautiful and they are so wise. A lot of our guests. I mean, I couldn't pick a favourite guest because that'd be like picking your favourite child. But memories from last season, Wendy Suzuki was just amazing.
Right.
Learning about the hippocampus.
The hippo what?
I mean, God, she's the hippocampus.
Hippo who?
Yeah.
Hippo hooba hooba. She was just so, knowledgeable, and which was incredible. She put it in ways that you can understand. So obviously she's an incredible scientist with, a massive brain, and and it's all neuroscience and everything. But the way she explained everything made us, I think, feel like, okay, so we could actually understand that, and so it's a real gift to be able to do that, and we laughed a lot with her. Fred Molina, oh God, he was just the best, wasn't he?
I love him. My dude loves him.
Yeah.
That wonderful comment that he made about dementia.
Any kind of dementia that sort of strikes people, it's like watching like a beautiful painting and just imagine a little flake of paint just peeling off every day.
No, I completely agree. That moment was really beautiful. That whole show was just the best. I really fell in love with Fred Molina on that. He's just lovely.
He is magic.
So I mean, God, so many. I've enjoyed it so much. I mean, is it really 2 years we've been doing this?
I don't know.
You said 2 years.
Don't ask Neil. He's got a problem with time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You'll make him angry.
I only met 2 weeks ago, Neil. I don't know what you're talking about.
Moving calmly, but swiftly on. Neil 3.0.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
What else, Lynn? What else sticks in your mind?
Do you know? Well, I love many things. I love to being able to give you updates about my chickens and people feigning like they cared. I know you don't care.
Oh, I really care.
Yeah. We are totally egg central at the moment. If you need eggs, we like go. Oh,
can I come round?
eggs
Here we
are
go,
crazy.
listeners.
Yeah, we're doing half a dozen eggs a day.
Excellent.
At the moment, right?
Sorry.
Anyway, I loved having Gina Bloom on, my friend Gina Bloom, because I think that she's just very funny, and also very honest, and the thing that it's weird because, I've worked with Gina before and she's transgender, and weirdly or not weirdly, being transgender is the least interesting thing about her. She's like fascinating. But for some people, it seems that the transgender thing is something that they can't get their head round. Almost as much as Wendy Suzuki with brain surgery and hippocampus and all that. And I feel that what Gina did with talking about being transgender, as in not really bothering about it, or about talking about it, did what Wendy did when she talked about the hippocampus. I think that what you really got was Gina's just actually a brilliant human.
She normalised it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his heart was pure. I know his heart was pure because spoiler alert, I got the job. I worked there. And he ended up giving me like a raise compared to what I was making before, like almost twice as much money compared to what I was making before when they fired me in the first place. So, obviously I fixed feminism somehow.
Yeah. You
I fixed it. Yeah. I proved that women are worth twice as much as men.
That's great.
So here we are.
I find her really adorable. Find her really comfortable to be around. And I liked very much that. I liked very much that she took us on a journey about truth.
She is funny. I loved the Freddie Mercury story.
He was so happy to have a trans person to drink with. He was politically conservative. But this was back when the Freddie Mercury movie had come out. And he was so excited to talk to me about Freddie Mercury. He's like, Freddie Mercury's like my favorite singer. I'm like, cool, man.
That's a great opener, isn't it, eh?
Right on. He's good. I agree. Yeah.
Where do you go from there, though?
Well, you just sort of laugh it off, and you find, I also like Freddie Mercury.
I just needed someone to then come out of the woodwork and go, you two should go out on a date.
Yeah.
You both like Freddie Mercury.
You both like Freddie Mercury, so cool. So we were able to get drunk in central Pennsylvania and talk about Freddie Mercury, and, that was fine. He was great.
I'm glad you brought that up, Lynn, about her being trans is the least interesting thing about her, because I remember that show because she was introduced to me as a trans comedian. That was how I introduced her, and that was the title I gave. And I think you really you didn't pull me up, but I think we actually had a bit of a chat about what is the best way to refer to Gina. But then afterwards I thought, I just learnt something from that because I'd made a thing of it. That's how I'd introduced her. You said that, her being trans is the least interesting thing about her, and some people can't get over it.
Yeah.
So it just made me think a little bit because I'd made a point of introducing her like that.
So we all label, though, don't we? Like, I always label Chesney as adorable, but sometimes he's possibly not adorable, right?
I think there are probably, if you ask my wife, there's probably quite a lot of times that I'm adorable.
No, we do. It's funny.
It's not true. I am always adorable.
You are.
Now, talking about classy and adorable, can we talk about Kate Copstick?
Oh, how funny. That was a position where I was watching you boys look scared.
Yeah, you're right.
It was like, well, most of the time, Neil and I were like, mouths agog. She's outrageous.
I love her, though. Man, I love her.
Oh, but wonderful. What a powerhouse woman she is.
Yeah.
First world women who are shouting so loudly and being so brave about naming, their abusers need to get the out of their nice first world lives and go to where women are really hurting.
But also, you've got that whole juxtaposition of she speaks her mind and she doesn't pull her punches, but the whole charity stuff that she does, I mean, she's amazing. She really is a juxtaposition of a person, isn't she?
But also talking about, learning the truth, like she has no boundaries in what she can talk about, does she? She just goes there, and it's like we know all about her sexual preferences and what she gets up to. Yeah. I mean, that was the moment I think Neil and I's mouths were agog.
That's because we've led such sheltered lives, Ches, isn't it?
Yeah, sure you have. She's a very, very, very kind person.
And a rock star,
actually.
don't you?
An adorable rock star.
Do you not know who I think I am?
I always say, do you not know who I think I used to be?
Yeah. Listen, you have touched on that, Ches, and I think maybe we need to dig into that a bit more. Your journey and how you've had to adjust. I think there's so much more mileage in that to share with people because there's so many life lessons. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you, Lynn.
You interrupted me. It's normally the other way round. What's happening? Have you been learning from me? Have you been learning my interrupty skills?
It's Neil 3.0 coming out.
Neil 3.0.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm interrupting now.
Interrupty.
I'm interrupting now.
Go on.
The thing about podcasts that's sort of amazing is that because it's not really like, tits and ass showbiz, that people become more vulnerable. They allow themselves to become more honest. Like, I think the first person that did that really was Toby Anstis.
Yes.
He was being very professional and lovely, and then he sort of relaxed into it. And I can't remember what he said, but it was like, I went, oh, wow.
I think it was about adoption because I shared that with him because of my background as well, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever done this. It's quite scary if you look in the mirror for a period of time and look and go, and you say to yourself, who am I, what am I? I don't really know. I don't think I know who my authentic self is yet. I mean, I was adopted, so me and my twin sister, and we would talk about this, weren't we, Neil?
Yeah.
I mean, that for me, if you're talking about insecurity, mine's all born out of that. It's about having spent so many years and trying to conform to make sure that I felt I was belonging in something I was so genetically at odds with in every respect. So I spent all my informative years doing that to try and everybody tries to make their parents proud. When you're adopted, it's magnified in a way that it's hard to describe.
I remember him saying he was surprised at how he felt. Just talking to us, he was very much kind of thankful that we listened to him.
He was very sweet.
Yeah.
And then Zoe Lyons had a similar one as well, because Zoe had been going through quite a time, remember? And
I fell in love with Zoe, didn't I?
Do you know,
Bless her.
who doesn't?
You're still talking about it now.
Who doesn't love Zoe Lyons? Do you know what I mean? Who doesn't? You'd have to be something really weird with you. It's like, it would have to be the same sort of person that said that Chesney was not adorable. You'd be like, who even are you? Do you know?
Like people that don't like the Beatles or something like that. Shh, shh, shh. Just don't say it, Lynn. Just don't say it. People will think you're weird.
If Zoe does listen to this, at least we were just about to get into her personal shit, and we've got comedy and laughter now. So as a stand-up comedian, she's going to appreciate that.
Love that.
And we haven't washed her dirty laundry. It's only out there once, and we haven't had to touch on it. So, you know.
And if anyone wants to go and look at Zoe Lyons' dirty laundry, you can find it.
It's hanging at 36.
You know what? It totally fits her, though, because her comedy is about not personal stuff, but like what it is to be human. You know, she's not. Her things are about the sort of quandaries of humankind. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it sort of fits.
Like not liking the odd amount of chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had an odd number.
What was it?
Pneumophobia.
Phobia.
She'd be fine right now because I have 10 chickens. 10 chickens and 1 rooster.
Yeah, it's all good right now.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know the image I'm going to take away from this whole thing is I love the fact that blokes have had to go into pub loos, urinals, mask on, out. It just makes me laugh.
So true. Yeah. Some of us wear little masks on our though. So.
Tiny mask.
Oh, well, speak for yourself, love.
Here's a show.
Look at him with his eye hanging out, idiot.
A great example of someone's journey, right? Someone who's had to reset a bit and change, and what she went through was tough, especially through lockdown and everything and what happened. So I think she was because she wasn't just saying it. We know she was being honest about what she went through and where she was, and that it was a transition. She, like you say, Lynn, about the podcast, maybe. Because you say there's no jazz hands and it's less showbiz. Maybe it's because it's such an intimate medium, but she was able to do that, and she was wonderfully vulnerable. But I think again a real example of someone who's changed and learned about themselves. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, and willing to search for the truth in yourself, and that's definitely what she had done. Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that you've changed during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think I probably have, actually. I mean, I definitely have realised how much I like the simplicity of life, of, being with family, and those things are so important to me. I mean, I knew that was important to me beforehand, but having now experienced that kind of closeness for a long amount of time, because obviously my life is normally on the road, away from my family, it made me realise, oh shit, I really, really, this is what I want. You know, I really want to be close with my family, and those are the priorities that have slightly kind of changed in my life. You know, from kind of wanting to be out there doing music and playing live and getting out there doing my thing, to kind of actually, it's more important to me to be close to my family, and really, that is quite a big thing for me. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Because, you know, now that the pandemic is kind of easing, all the restrictions are easing and everything, and there are gigs back, I'm back on the road again, and I'm out and about, and I'm kind of like, oh my God, I kind of missed lockdown, you know?
Yeah.
What about you, Neil? Do you feel you've changed, apart from the anger thing?
There's so much that's changed. I've moved house, and everything has changed, and work's kind of changing, but in a great way. It's non-stop. I suppose it's changed because of my dad and developing the relationship with my mum. It's lovely. That is a huge change, and so that yes, spending more time with her is great. So in however long, we couldn't agree on how long it's been since we started this and what the journey is, but in that short period of time, so much has changed as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and 3.0 for sure. What about you, Lynn? Go on, over to you.
I think I'm a combination of both of you. I definitely think there's been a simplification, like some kind of internal simplification. You know, like I don't really like parties. I don't really. I'm quite a homebody. Like I like to potter about my garden and stuff like that. And because of my work, I end up in quite busy places, and what I've really loved is not having the obligation to go to parties. So like people would have these things. Like now I've had a couple of invitations, and it sounds like I sound like such an asswipe really, because you go, oh yeah, I've been invited to these events and blah blah blah, but I don't want to go. But I genuinely really don't particularly want to go, and it's not that the events don't sound lovely. I'm sure that they're bloody, you know, whiskey bar and chocolate fountain or whatever are magical. But actually, I am a miserable old shite, and I like to stay home. I raised this just because I was talking to some people yesterday, and the theme that we were talking about that I just thought was really interesting was they said, looking back in life, all the things that were really difficult, and you know, like rejections and stuff that went wrong, things that really hurt your feelings or whatever, turned out to really have the best results. You know, like, I've been married now for 20 years and I love him to bits. But I think of how many years that I wasted my time in, you know, like liking people who didn't like me back, or having a broken heart, or getting dumped, or all that stuff. And now I'm like, thank Christ all that happened. Thank Christ it did. I guess then that this time that we all have been struggling with, and will probably struggle with for quite a while, will in turn produce its own level of learning, and I'm sort of interested to find out what that is. Does that make sense?
Well, I think if we keep talking about it, like, I mean, one thing I was just thinking about with you guys telling your stories there about, you know, things that have changed, is that we started this through all of that. So we've kind of been together a lot, you know, and kind of regular, you know, like we've got together like once a week, and we've talked about everything, like deep shit, stuff that means something, things that are happening to us, things that are changing in our lives. You know, there's been tears.
Especially from
with
you
us.
and Neil.
Especially from you and Neil. And a lot of laughter. And, you know, that's I'm really grateful for this. And you guys, I'm really grateful for your friendship. And because I think because of of what we do, what we talk about, you know, was about mental health. I think like it's been a form of therapy for me, you know, going through this with you guys.
Yeah.
It's helped me a lot.
Yes.
Me too. Today's show title is... Oh, sorry.
So Wendy's niche, right? She's a neuroscientist that...
She's a what?
So, neuroscientist.
She's a what? Did I just say that? Can't believe we talked to somebody who does brains last week. Who are we?
I know.
Three losers talking to the brainiest women in the world. We're like, oh yeah,
we won't stop telling people about it, will we?
We interviewed brainy people.
Well, there is a phrase, isn't it, that you're only as sick as your secrets. right? And actually, what happens in you don't have secrets, Harrington. You don't. You
Ooh,
think,
he might.
oh,
He
no,
might.
he doesn't. He tries to have secrets, and then he gets that somebody annoys him because they've taken too long to do stuff, and then he's
He's getting his clothes off.
no. He's probably. I think the secret is he's not wearing a onesie today.
Yeah, actually, yeah. There was something you said which I thought really interesting, Lynn, about being a miserable bastard and just wanting to stay in and be grumpy and avoid the show.
Yeah.
That is something that the three of us have in common.
I think so.
And when you actually look at the things we do for livings, how ironic is that? Because Lynn, at the end of the day, the opportunity to end up in front of a camera, is there for you like that if you want to.
Yeah.
And Ches, you have to go on stage to earn your living, so you have to keep doing it. And look at what you've just said about wanting to be with Chrissy and the family. And I'm in a DJ booth in a club at 4 a.m. and having to, think about sleeping patterns and, that sort of stuff.
In the club thinking I'd rather be at home with a Horlick.
Yeah, and don't get, please, I'm never biting the hand that feeds or complaining about my life.
Of course not.
Please don't take this the wrong way. And it's like anything. Sometimes it's a job, sometimes you love it, sometimes you don't. And sometimes you do want to be with those people, but most of the time it's not personal to them. I think that's the thing to mention. It's about us, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had an event a few weeks ago and we walked through the front door at about 7 a.m. I'd been going I'd been standing up since 6 p.m. And Karen and I, we got home on our own. And I had a cup of tea and a hot bath with Radox in it.
You've changed.
So there you go.
But then there's another side to this where I've realised the people that I do want to spend time with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, Lynn and I got together with Mark and Chris quite a lot through the pandemic, actually, didn't we? So it's like it is important to know who you really, really do want to be with.
Well, see, I don't really think
there's-
about hanging out with you as socialising, right? I just sort of think about it's like, because you and Chris are like family, do you know what I mean? Like,
It only becomes work when I'm involved.
but that's only because we have to pull you from the cupboard under the stairs and we'll get you out of there. No, I wonder if it's not to do with that none of us like it, but that it's like, I really like jelly beans, or I did used to like jelly beans, but at one point I bought a big jar of the jelly beans from Costco, and now you could not tempt me to have a jelly bean. I'm like, there's enough jelly beans to have,
you've had your quota.
Never again, right? And I think maybe it's to do with that it's not, that there's a level of it that you do, and so therefore it takes the magic out. I wonder sometimes with life, because this has always been the movie playing in my head when I was a kid, right? Was like, I don't know about you guys, but I find New Year's Eve, really difficult. Like, it really difficult because I'm kind of split between one and the other. Like, I look to the past, and that's always melancholy. If you look back, it always brings up melancholy. And then I'm halfway to the future, which is about fear, right? So like a narrative,
Scary. Yeah.
When you're the only way to be sort of happy or content or whatever is when you're in the present. Because if you're melancholy, it's you look into the past, and if you're frightened, you're looking to the future, right? And my thing about New Year is that I watched too many movies as a kid where it would be New Year. Or even TV things, and they'd have balloons. They'd have a party, and then it would go, hooray, and there'd be New Year, and there'd be balloons coming down from the ceiling, and everybody would sing and all that. And actually, I had this thing when I was younger where I was like, I'd really love to spend one New Year where I was at a party, where when it like struck midnight, there'd be balloons and streamers, and people would sing. And actually, the first time I did that, it was like, I want to be home. that we're presented with an idea of what we should be doing in order to look like we're enjoying ourselves, and then as you get older, it becomes clearer that that's just a kind of outfit that you wear. Like, I look like I'm enjoying myself, rather than the ease of a comfortable pair of slippers and being in my own house. Watch and tell.
Yeah, and I also think as you get older, those things are less important.
Yeah.
It's like, our parents' age, like, I mean, you wouldn't catch my dad going to a party or even to a pub now, He's just like, no f***ing way, I ain't doing that. And he's earned the right.
Yeah.
He's earned the right to not want anything like that. He's like, Gold Channel, put only on Fours and Horses on, get me a cup of tea and a pair of slippers, and I'm happy.
Sounds good to me, I tell you. Can I go and join
good
you?
to me too. Yes.
Rock and roll.
Showbiz, eh?
So, moving forward, where do we want to go with this new series?
Do you still want me to play music?
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely. Do you know the thing that I think, we haven't even talked about this and I think it's so ridiculous, but it is totally you, Chesney Hawks, which is when we were saying, it's more ridiculous than even doing a podcast in half an hour when the three of us can't just like hang out for half an hour without blah 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 blah. Is
blah blah blah.
When we were talking about putting music into it, Chesney was like, well, you wouldn't be wanting me to be playing because that would be quite boring for everybody, right? It was like a whole thing of no. And actually that's turned out to be, I think that might be my favourite thing about the podcast. And I say it very selfishly too, because I know up front what songs the guests are asking for. If you don't know what's happening, listeners, is what it is as a reward for dealing with us talking at them, the guests that come on
or crying
at them, the guests that come on the show get to say what their favourite song is, or a song that makes them happy, and Chesney does his own version of it. And sometimes that when you hear when Toya Wilcox said it was Human Behaviour by Bjork, I literally pissed myself laughing. I pissed myself laughing.
So did I.
Yeah, you did. What the hell is Hawks going to do with that?
I remember his face. Because I remember, I think we were having a meeting or something, and I think maybe the email popped up, and I think, like, oh, Ches, I got Toy's choice of song here for you to recreate. Oh, yeah. What's that? It's Bjork, Human Behaviour.
It's
and I actually think there was silence.
Yeah.
I think there was silence, yeah. Sorry, again. But it was magical. It was f***ing brilliant, Ches.
They're terribly, terribly, terribly moody of human behavior. Then all of a sudden turn happy, and then my hereafter would all to get involved in exchange of human emotions is ever so satisfying. And then my hero, and there is no man and chair to human behavior, human behavior, human behavior, human behavior, human, it's ever so satisfying. Human behavior.
Actually, fun enough, one of the hardest ones for me was a show that we never actually did. We were going to be interviewing the lovely Jo Brand at one point, but it didn't work out for some reason.
Yeah.
But she had this punk song. I can't remember what it was now, but it was so a million miles away from what I do that I think we did it. I certainly tried to do it, and it was the one that I struggled with the most. Because it was just so far away from. I mean, of course, Bjork, Human Behaviour is probably as far away as well. But there were some moments that, like, some of the songs that came through, like I think Toby Anstis was Coldplay, wasn't it? And so I'm like, okay, I can do that. Cool, I can do that in my sleep, and that was easy. And then others that came through, like
Wendy Suzuki,
like Toya's Choice.
Wendy Suzuki chose a the Broadway.
It was a show theme from the Sondheim musical, wasn't it?
Sondheim show.
Oh, that threw you. Yeah, that threw you a little bit.
You were awesome with that.
It did. So did Fred's choice, Alfred Molina's choice.
Right? But also, he was so appreciative, right?
It doesn't matter what was thrown at you. Every time you knocked it out the park, mate.
Well, it stretched me. It stretched me as a as a musician and a singer to. I always saw it as a challenge, and so I'm not going to let any song beat me. I haven't had like someone give me a rap song yet, so we'll see.
Awesome.
I'm working on it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, Eminem.
Yeah, don't worry.
In this series,
got a plan
would
for
you do a thing where maybe because the one thing that I think we do miss out on is I would really love for you to do a video of you recording the songs. I really would. I think
like a little window into my process.
I know we can't do it in the podcast, but even can we do some extra material or something like that? Because I think that people would like to see. I mean, honestly, if I could have been a fly in the wall during human behaviour, I would have. And also, doesn't Indy helped you be one of them too? Doesn't he? Like you?
He did. He helped me with the Joe Brand choice. Yeah. This is Indiana, my son, who's an amazing guitar player. So he's like, I know what to do with that guitar, Dad. And he just, turned it up to 11 and helped me out. So, yeah, he's helped me on a couple of them, actually. And I will carry that on.
Lynn, if you had a favourite song from the 20-odd that Ches has done, what would you choose? Do you have a favourite?
There's been so many of them. I did love Fred's song, actually. And I know the ones that you found out, I can't even remember what Fred's song was.
Fred's something about common man or something, was it?
But it was really amazing. I'd never heard the song before.
I'm looking for it. The Ballad of the Sad Young Man.
There you go, the Ballad of the Sad Young Man.
Sing a song.
I'd never heard the song before, and because you do it acoustically, or because I know how you're doing it, like you pare it down, I feel like the meaning of them comes through more.
Yes, when you strip a song back, from because there were pop songs and all sorts of different kind of production things, and when you strip a song back, that's how you can tell a good song, I guess. You bring the emotional connection with it. That's the thing that's left, from the kind of whistles and bells of a track. So that's one of the things I've really loved. It's like stripping a song back to its essence. Yeah. And, just doing it acoustically. Personally, I thought what you did for Leslie Ash when you did Creep by Radiohead, for me, that was that was my favourite moment of... And I did that one away from the studio, because everything I've done through the whole 2 series so far has been sitting here in my studio where I've got all my toys, That one I was actually touring, so if you remember, I was really jet-lagged. I told you the story about that. I was really jet-lagged, and I was in my parents' spare room. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, I'm just going to get up and see if I can record that on my laptop. and I remember there was that slow... It's quite a slow version, very kind of quiet and intimate. And I did it live, and... then I realised as it got closer to there's a bit where he goes, and it really goes for it. And I realised that it's 3 in the morning and I'm singing very loudly from my parents' spare bedroom, and I was probably going to wake them up. Although my dad's deaf, I suppose, so I don't think that It was, look, seeing as you busked it, mate, it was absolutely brilliant. So there's one bit then I've forgotten to say. I just got a note of it here. One of the final things I wanted to mention that really struck me from doing 20 shows, 2 series with 19 or 20 guests. When we got to the end of pretty much every show with every guest, the guests had genuinely enjoyed the experience with us and repeatedly thanking us for the opportunity, and that was wonderful to know that they were so...
Apart from Debbie McGee.
Yeah, she did.
She still loved it anyway.
Yeah. No, she did say thank you, we just haven't got the recording of it. But no, it was wonderful, the fact that these people have made time for us idiots, like you said, Lynn. That bit hasn't changed with the new thing that we're doing. We're still idiots. They made time for us.
Adorable idiots.
Only one of us is adorable.
The guests made time for us, and by the end of it, we'd given them a good enough experience. Basically, I think it means that Lynn and I had busked it, and we charmed them with Ches's song. I think that's actually what. I think that's the reality of it. But they were very grateful, and just overwhelmingly thank yous all the time from great people. So that really struck me about our journey and where we've been up until now with the guests that we've had on the show so far.
I don't belong here.
So what do you think we're going to do differently on this season?
What I'd said was that the reason that we changed from We're All a Bit Mental is because it's like saying we've all got eyes or hands or something. We are all a bit mental. The world's a bit mental. And so actually we decided that we were just going to talk about what it is to be human and things that affect humankind.
So we're going to carry on a similar kind of show. We're going to have lovely guests. I'm going to create music. We're going to talk about what it's like to be human.
Yeah, you know,
that's pretty much it,
right? And sometimes we're going to talk about sad stuff, and sometimes it'll be happy or ridiculous stuff, and and all the time Chesney will be adorable. We'll be
and all the time Lynn will be a crazy chicken lady.
I will always be a crazy chicken lady.
And we can't promise there won't be any tears, but anyway.
Yeah, no.
And all the time Neil will be under the stairs in his cupboard.
If he's not in a bath or wearing a onesie.
That's true. Those three things are always a possibility.
Do you know what we should do? Is we should end with Chesney's favourite song of the songs that he did. So your favourite song, Chesney Oaks. Chesney Oaks.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think I'm going to go for... Because we did actually, all of us choose a song, and I chose a song called "I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen."
I love that. Yeah,
it is my grandfather's favourite song, and it's something that's I've lived with my whole life, and so I really, really enjoyed recreating that one.
Oh, that sounds magic.
I'll take you home again, Kathleen. Across the ocean, wild and wide, to where your heart has ever been. Since first you were my bonny bride. The roses all have left your cheek. I've watched them fade away, and your voice is sad whenever you speak. And tears bedim your loving eyes. I will take you home, Kathleen, to where your heart shall feel no pain. And when the fields are fresh and green, I'll take
bringing episode 1 of Ferguson Harrington Hawks to its perfect ending.
We're all going to get our slippers and Horlickses.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for joining us in our journey. And I hope that you are listening to this with slippers and Horlicks.
Yeah. Lynn,
What?
anything from you?
No.
Anything from you?
Me?
No?
No, I'm not a chatter.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, I'm looking at the clock, and there's other things we need to do. So that is a great way of stopping Ferguson from talking, isn't it? It's brilliant.
So, I've been Lynn Ferguson.
I've been Neil Harrington.
And I've been Chesney Hawks.
And you still are Chesney Hawks, you adorable devil.
And we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. You've been listening to Ferguson Harrington Hawks with Lynn Ferguson, Neil Harrington and Chesney Hawks. Written and produced for Source Productions by, surprise, surprise, Lynn Ferguson, Neil Harrington and Chesney Hawks.